Hello, friends. My name is Lilia, and I live in Bulgaria. I am a social science researcher and a student of human nature. I love studying how we function as humans and how we create our social reality. I do what I do in my job with the intention to make the world a good place of justice and happiness, as utopian as this may sound nowadays. But here I would like to share with you about the different side of the contribution I wish to make to this world. A few years ago, after spending a decade living, studying, and working across the United States, I felt the call to return to my roots in my home country. I found a job which satisfied my hunger for knowledge and exploration. However, there were a few things which I did not know about myself. For instance, until then, I did not know that I adore nature. How could I know it if I had spent most of my life surrounded by books and within the fascinating walls of academia? Soon after my return, I started going in nature more often. I discovered the beauty of my home country and also visited many other beautiful places across Europe. Connecting to nature awakened many hidden parts in me, which had to come out, one of them being an interest in creativity. I never thought of myself as being a creative individual, but we can be surprised by ourselves. This is a really good side of life. It can surprise us pleasantly in magical ways. It first began with me attending a 3-hour oil painting art class for amateurs. I found it fun and started looking for more opportunities to have art fun in my free time. I became enamored with oil painting, and from time to time I took oil painting classes with a famous Russian painter. And little by little, the walls of my home started filling up with oil paintings, which I truly enjoy looking at. I diversified my art fun with some acrylic art classes given by various professional artists in Bulgaria. Then the pandemic hit, and I could no longer take my favorite classes in person. And then, for the first time, I felt that I could start doing art on my own, in the comfort of my home. I never considered myself an artist, especially given that there are so many professional artists out there who create unique, brilliant, original works. But what was most important to me as I started creating on my own, without the supervision of somebody else, was how I felt while painting. I noticed that when I painted, I was completely happy and totally focused on what I was doing. This was surprising to me, as I had been trained to be multi-focused, with numerous ideas running through my head most of the time. But with painting, it was different. I could spend an entire day without eating, checking my phone, going out, or having to force myself to be something special. Only painting and enjoying the outcome regardless of how it looked. In the meantime, I had started sharing some of the paintings I did at home or in class with my friends and relatives on social media. To my surprise, people adored them. Some of them even wanted to borrow or purchase the paintings so they could be connected to the intention that stands behind them. I realized that for some people, my paintings are bringing joy and a connection to some long-lost beauty of life and of themselves as well. When a friend of mine asked me, if she could use one of the watercolor paintings I did in a class to be a leading image for her stationery, I realized that the paintings I did have the potential to reach out to more people, and that they can be a way for me to leave behind something good in this world by bringing beauty and joy to anybody who gets in touch with what I have painted. 5 years into my exploration of art, the walls and corners of my home are filled with paintings which remain largely unseen, untouched, and invisible to the outer world. Thus, I decided to create a small virtual corner where I can share my art and inspiration with the world. I wish that this little creative corner is a place where people can be reminded of the good and beauty that exists in this world, despite everything else claiming the contrary. I want this creative corner to be also a place where people can connect with my art and own it if they feel they wish to support my joy to continue to create beauty and inspiration. I once heard that happiness is the greatest when it is shared, and we can only impact the world in a good way if we have courage and allow the world to taste what we bring. I will be delighted if you can take my hand and be among the many people who would like to accompany me on my creative journey. I wish you all the best for your life.